Well, if TikTok would ever stop, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what they're doing, but like every time I try to post one of these videos, you know what I'm saying, and all of a sudden my phone comes up missing of storage, like empty of storage. You know, this never happens whenever fucking I just post parody fucking videos or share videos. It only happens whenever I want to talk about something serious and I want to conversate about it. So let's hope that it gets it done this time. Do you know the history of Tylenol, aspirin, and ibuprofen, and the history of autism? Well, autism was found in 1943. Aspirin was invented in 1899 by a company called Bayer, who also made all the sarin gas that killed all the Jews in the Holocaust, and was funded by the Rockefeller family, who also funded all the education system of America, including those that give out doctorate degrees to doctors, only if they would only teach the approved curriculum of the Rockefellers, who have built the big pharma industry. But for 43 years, aspirin was a new thing, and like it was considered like a miracle drug, pretty much. Mainly used in the Spanish influenza. Pregnant women probably took aspirin thinking that it's okay for 43 years before they found autism. And then guess what? Then aspirin was not recommended for anybody that's been past the 20 weeks of pregnancy to take because of threat of physical ailments that it could cause a child. But we didn't have no mental health back then. They still electroshock therapy motherfuckers. Then in 1955, Tylenol was invented, quickly taking the place of aspirin. From day one, Tylenol never recommended a pregnant woman at all, any weeks, you know what I'm saying, if pregnant at all, take Tylenol. Because it and aspirin are not too much different. But what the fuck did we do for the past tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of years, possibly, we've been here as humans, and only in the past 130 fucking years has there ever been a fever breaker, a fever reducer? Well, that's because fevers in themselves are not deadly until they reach a certain temperature. It has also been studied and proven that saline injection, the drip bag, can reduce fever temperature. So even if you have a temperature of your fever that's getting up so high that it's life-threatening, saline can bring that fever down to where it's not. Fevers suck. All sickness sucks. But for tens of thousands of fucking years, we human beings just sucked it fuck up. Now, ibuprofen was created in the late 1960s. Unlike aspirin and Tylenol, instead of forcing your system to do something, ibuprofen actually encourages the system to do it itself. All three can break fevers. All three are also pain relievers. And now, it's not recommended anybody over 30 weeks of pregnancy take ibuprofen. There's 40 weeks in pregnancy. That means for half of it, they shouldn't take aspirin. For 10 weeks of it, they shouldn't take ibuprofen. But for the whole goddamn thing, Tylenol says you shouldn't take it. So why are their doctors going against that? It's just like ibuprofen won't ever be linked to autism. They say it's not recommended after 30 weeks of pregnancy because it can cause physical ailments, just like they said aspirin could after 20 weeks. But if you're having so many fevers that you're going to have to take ibuprofen, Tylenol, or aspirin fucking every day for the remainder of your pregnancy, and not just maybe one time to get a very high fever down, then likely there's a very bad underlying condition that the woman has, and the pregnancy is probably not going to end up being successful anyways, and likely the mother is not going to live either. But doctors will tell women, do not take aspirin, do not take ibuprofen. They don't even say 30 or 20 weeks. They just say, don't take it. But then they say, oh, Tylenol's safe. When the own fucking drug company that makes it says it's not. At all. This is the proof that the medical industry does not want cured patients. The medical industry wants to continue to create its paycheck. Whereas Tylenol might not cause physical defects, mental ones are just as bad, even though you might not be able to recognize it right off the rip. If somebody has a physical ailment, it's easy identifiable. But you know what? autism testing has not really even gotten to the substandard par of what it should be until the last like 10 years. Now, even adults like myself was 28 whenever I was diagnosed with autism. So no, there's no way you can say there was no replacement. In fact, those replacements wouldn't have been around longer, wouldn't have been around sooner, but was safer. But yet doctors and hospitals chose to use the one that was almost a certain to cause illnesses. You know what I'm saying? Children, by law, insurance companies, and like TennCare, whatever, got to give them insurance for free till they're 21. You know what costs the most money? Mental appointments, mental doctor, mental diagnoses. And they're all getting that shit from insurance money. The parents aren't even having to really pay for it. And they have been lied to trust these doctors who smile in their face because they know, yeah, your kid's going to give us a paycheck for 21 years. I was put on Adderall when I was 7 years old. Kept on it till I was 21, taking 30 milligrams a day. Told that I had ADHD as a child. Whole time it was probably autism because I was 28 when they diagnosed me with that. And all of a sudden I don't have ADHD, I got ADD. And see, I was adopted, so I can't just go in here and ask my mom, were you taking Tylenol when you were pregnant with me? But by what you're saying, it's more than likely my mother did. That, or maybe there's another link. Like, the doctor put me on pseudoephedrine whenever I was like 4 for the way he said I had allergies. When you just, to get over your allergies, airborne allergies, go and eat whatever the fuck your airborne allergy is to. Seriously, I used to be allergic to dog hair, cat hair, Bradford pears, many different trees, different weeds in the grass. And a native shaman told me one day, when I was very young, I think I was 11, to eat what I'm allergic to. Not food allergy, don't do that. But to eat what my nose is allergic to, and I'll no longer be allergic to it. So you goddamn right, I ate some dog hair, I ate some cat hair, I ate some Bradford pear pulps, I ate some fucking, you know what I'm saying, anything that they said, the doctor told me I was allergic to, I ate a little bit of it. Guess what, I ain't got no allergies today. Pseudoephedrine, though, is the precursor to methamphetamine, which is the precursor to amphetamine, which is Adderall. So the link may be there. Either way, the link is the doctor's fault. The salesman's fault. They're not doctors. The only motherfuckers in there that are doctors are your surgeons, because it takes a real skilled motherfucker's hand to be able to do surgery. It don't take no skills at all to be a salesman. Hell, we got a lot of drug dealers down the streets doing that shit. They ain't ever fucking graduated high school. Now, as far as these new young parents that are, young mothers that are like mad because Trump said there's a link for it in autism, so they're like, well, he said it's bad for us, I'm just going to down a bunch of these, and then they end up with liver, like destroying their liver and dying. That might not be the doctor's fault, but that's definitely the left's fault for creating this idea that whatever Trump says, you should do the opposite of. And Trump just said, pregnant women do not need to take Tylenol. And now there's a bunch of pregnant women down in Tylenol like a motherfucker. Because they're mad at Trump, they just want to prove Trump wrong. And that is the problem of the political left and their indoctrination of our children in the education system that was funded originally by the Rockefellers, who also funded the last 100 years of medical malpractice, because there ain't been nothing cured in 100 years. In fact, street drugs are safer than anything the fucking RX prescribes you. Cocaine and heroin have been in medicines for thousands of years. Before heroin was synthesized, people were smoking opium. Shrooms been around longer than we have. Methamphetamine has been proven to be the cure to the flu and also a preventative of the flu and COVID. Do you know any meth heads? Do you ever see any of them sick? And that goes back to pseudoephedrine being the precursor to methamphetamine, you know what I'm saying, most of the time. And it's an allergy medicine, right? It's antihistamine. So my point is this. The medical industry itself, the doctors themselves, the hospitals themselves, they ignored FDA warnings and the actual drug companies' warnings. And the leftist groups trying to fucking get people to fucking, you know what I'm saying, just do anything Trump says not to do, are the real culprits behind the reason why America is so fucking unhealthy. Said what I said.